Hey everybody, Yxlarb here, and welcome back to Sonic Adventure DX. This is the one and only bonus episode for the whole walkthrough. We're going to be going over plenty of bonus features here. Let's start by showing off, the files here. So this is the walkthrough file. This is what we just finished. Took us 8 hours, 11 minutes to get those 50 emblems. That's a pretty decent playtime. According to my estimations, walkthroughs take about 10% longer to do, due to not walking around, explaining things, a bunch of pausing here and there. Take about 10% longer to do, basically, and you could probably be done in, 7.5 hours normally. Probably less than that if you're speed running, but obviously I wasn't. Now this file here is the one we're going to be delving into today, number 2. This was my practice account where I was doing the stages and stories before the actual walkthrough ones to make sure I knew where cutscenes were, make sure I knew exactly what was going on. Basically just a trial run before doing the actual video. And it's got 130 emblems. Played for almost 36 hours. 5 or 6 of that is just working on Chao and leveling them up to be able to do the Chao races. That's basically what that is. And then this file down here, I believe I mentioned it before. Basically, when I had that first part of Amy screwed up, the first episode for the Amy story, I had to play through the whole game to get back to that so I could show those beginning cutscenes. Because once you complete a story, there's no replay option, which I really wish there was. I honestly don't know why there isn't. You should be able to just go back to the Sonic story after it's 100% and play through it again. I don't know why that's not an option, but whatever. It took, 40 minutes. It wasn't like the biggest waste of time, but it took plenty of time. If you include the making of both videos and editing, it took like 2 hours to make that one video, so that's annoying, but let's just jump into File 2, which is what we're really here for. I'm actually going to be showing you something here in the options menu first. In Sound Test. In here, you have the themes to every character. I'm obviously not going to play all of this. You have the action stage themes, adventure field, for wherever you are, for mini games even, events. I mean, just look at this. It just goes on and on and on, and you've got all sorts of them. Now this, come on. I actually don't know what this is. I'm not going to explore it though. I don't really mess around with it too much. Obviously, if you want to download, the music in this game, you can find it online all over the place. You don't need to open up your Sonic Adventure DX video game every time you want to listen to some Sonic music. You don't have to do that. So we're not going to do that either. Now, next up, we're actually going to go into the minigame collection. This is important. Now keep in mind, all of these mini-games and the mini-game collection you unlock are for the Game Gear only. So if you go into Sonic the Hedgehog or in the, whatever, any of these games, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sky Patrol, any of that, and you're wondering, why does it look so weird? It's because it's on the Sega Game Gear, the handheld. So don't worry about it looking weird. It still plays fun, and obviously if you're a retro Sonic fan, you're going to get a kick out of this. Basically, how do you unlock them? For the first 100 emblems, every 20 emblems you unlock, or you obtain, you unlock one minigame. So for getting 100 emblems, you will get 5, 5 minigames. And then for the next 30, every 10 emblems you get, you will unlock a minigame. So basically, for getting all 130 emblems, you get 8 minigames. But it doesn't end there. You remember mission mode that I showed off before? For completing all 60 missions, for every 20 missions you unlock one more minigame. And it's not really that confusing, but explaining it's kind of confusing. So say that you beat all 60 missions first. What 3 games you unlock? Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Drift, and Sonic Chaos. But say you get 60 emblems before you complete 60 missions. What will you get? What 3 games? Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Drift, and Sonic Chaos. It doesn't matter what order you complete missions or emblems in, or what emblems you get, whatever. It's all based on your total count. So, if you're like me and you can't beat one of the missions, you won't get the final 2 games, because whatever the last achievement you get is, whether it be emblems or missions, you unlock 2 mini games at once. Luckily, I know what they are, and I'll be able to talk to you about it. Now, for those who are, just curious or whatever, Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm just clicking with the mouse, and I don't like it that you can hear it over the microphone because it's just an annoying noise. But it's Mission 53, Sonic's, where you have to jump 3 times consecutively over the row of rings. It sounds very easy, and I know there's a glitchy way to do it. I've tried the glitchy way. I've spent hours trying to do it. Couldn't do it. So I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I just won't get those last 2 minigames. But like I said, I know what they are. So let's talk. So Sonic the Hedgehog, you all know that. Then we got Sonic Drift with like F-Zero graphics, okay? Like I have nothing good to say about this game. I hate it. I hate playing it. And, you know, I didn't grow up with retro Sonic. I never had all that much fun. I beat Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles and that sort of stuff, but I haven't played too much of it. Sonic Chaos. Yeah, you can use Tails in there. Sonic Spinball, you know, basically pinball with Sonic. Sonic Labyrinth. The slowest I've ever seen Sonic move in a video game. Easily my least favorite Sonic title. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is actually a lot of fun. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, basically like, kind of like Tetris, I don't really know, or like Dr. Mario kind of stuff. Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble. Sonic Drift 2, oh, you know how much I love this series. And Tails Sky Patrol, that's all I have unlocked. The last 2 go as, let me pop up my list, Sonic Blast and Tails Adventure. Now, Sonic Blast, I actually don't know. I don't know if that's the Game Gear version of Sonic 3D Blast. That I don't know. And then Tails Adventure, you know, you just play as Tails. It's not, you know, so exhilarating. But that's basically it for the minigame collection. I think it was really cool that they added this on here. I mean, I wish they had just the standard versions, not the Game Gear versions for all of them. But that's just me. Maybe you guys don't care about that. You know, who am I to say? But now we're going to go into Trial, which you guys already remember. You can replay any action stage or sub-game, and you can do the B and A levels for all the action stages, which you need to do to get all the emblems. Now let's actually look through all the emblems. Let's look through the full list, and I'll explain how to get all of these. Now with Sonic, well, no, with all the characters, like I said, all their action stages have B and A levels. By playing the main story mode, you only unlock the C level emblems. To get the other ones, you have to play through here. And each character has their own sort of gimmick. With Sonic, for most of his Bs, I'm gonna use the word most instead of all, even if it is all, just to, you know, avoid any possibility of me being wrong, basically. So for the most part, Sonic's B levels are collecting 50 rings and making it to the end, and then his final levels are making it under a certain amount of time. Now these can be very hard if you don't use speedrunning tactics, and there's actually some shortcuts that are basically required to make it under those time limits. Trust me, I had trouble. This was my first time attempting 130 emblems in this game, so I had a fun time. Tails, you know, he has far fewer stages. Basically, it's very similar to Sonic. Collect 50 rings for B levels, and then for A levels, just beat a much faster Sonic. For Knuckles, I actually can't remember which one is B and which one's A, but one of them requires you to find the emeralds in a very small time limit, and the other one has to do with rings, I believe. No. It has to do with not using any hints to find them. And I believe that one's B and the other one's A. Amy, can't really remember. I feel like it's rings and time limit, but I don't really remember. I actually did this a while ago, and it's not really important what it is because I'm not going to be showing you all these stages. It would just take far too long. Now, I was saying to myself before, you know, there's basically only 40 emblems in the main game. You know, 40, whatever. I don't really know how many because I got all those Adventure Field emblems and shit. But basically there's 90 optional emblems. If 90 of them were required and then there was just 40 optional ones, I would totally show videos on all of it. But there's just like 75% of this walkthrough would be optional stuff, and that doesn't sound fun to me. E102, it has to do with time limits, and I don't know if one of them has to do with rings or not, but probably does. Big is probably one of the hardest ones. Now, you remember all the lure upgrades I got? All 4 of them? You will need all 4 to beat this. I can't tell you. When I was doing my practice run, I forgot one of them. I thought I had all 4, but I only had 3 of them. And I went into Twinkle Park a million times, and you know there's only one source of water. For level B, you have to catch, I believe, I can't remember if it's 1,000 or 1,500 gram fish. And then for A level, you have to catch a 2,000 gram fish, so a ton. And I really hope it's grams. I can't remember how they measure it in this game, but yeah, and that's impossible to do until you have all the lures, because then the metal, you know, the robot fish of Eggman won't pop up until you have all 4 of them. So I kept restarting. I looked up online. People are like, oh, just keep restarting it. Eventually there'll be a fish big enough. No, there won't. You have to get all of them. You have to get all 4 lure upgrades and then go back in. That's the end of it. Don't listen to anyone online. They're all wrong. Anyway, Adventure Field. I did not show all of these, nor do I intend to. Basically, you know, there's a million videos online telling you where to find them, and we already found, you know, half of them in the story, if you saw that. Basically, what I can tell you is that there's 4 in Station Square, 4 in the Mystic Ruins, and 4 on the Egg Carrier. You will need several characters to get them all. Not one character can get all 12. Just keep that in mind. So, if you want to find them yourself and just explore, you'll have to explore with multiple characters. So, yeah. Mini games. Now, when you look at the screen, it's easy to be confused. You're like, what the heck am I looking at? What are they talking about? What mini games? Well, basically, the mini games, they're referring to sub-games. So here we go. Sky Chase Act 1. Just for doing it, you know, in the story, you get an emblem. For, sorry about that. And by the way, I totally didn't add in these sub-games into the total emblem count before when I did the math. So, whatever I said before, 36 or whatever, was wrong. That was wrong, I admit it. But yeah, and then you have to get a certain score. Like in this case, you have to get over 8,000. As you saw, I got 8140. I'm sure you could beat that. That's not too impressive. Same thing with Sky Chase Act 2. You had to beat both of those. And you trust me. I mean, don't worry. You don't have to do this with Sonic and Tails. Just with one of them. They count as the same sub-game. The only thing this changes is who you're playing as. With Sky Chase, though, it doesn't really matter because you sit in the same position regardless of who you are. But yeah. And then you got like sub games like Ice Cap. You see how there aren't emblems above it like there are here? That means playing this will not get you emblems. Then you got Sand Hill, which you can actually play as Sonic as well, even though it's not one of his missions. It's the same story as Sky Chase. Twinkle Circuit can actually be played by almost all, if not by all the characters. Now, one more thing, we got Boss here. It's just called Boss. It's basically like a time attack boss fight. You fight every boss in the character story, so you can do this for all of them. But yeah, so the 5 mini games are Sky Chase Act 1, Act 2, Sand Hill, Twinkle Circuit, and Amy's Hammer Game. I can't remember what it's called. I honestly can't remember, but that's it. Then we got 5 emblems for the Chao races, which probably take longer than any of the other ones to obtain. Basically, beat all 5 tracks and earn first place with your Chao. You're going to have to level them up quite a bit to do this. The one tip I can give you is, I had no idea why this was happening. My Chao kept falling asleep at the same point of every race. It's like the game was screwing me over, trying to force me to, you know, max out my levels to win. I was like, this is so screwed up. But apparently, if your Chao is tired in the garden, just wait for them to wake up. Don't pick them up to wake them up, and then try to race them, because then that's why they sleep on the track. Just let them sleep, and then jump into the race. That's the advice I can give you. And you got ending. You got 7 emblems here. 1 for each character story, and then 1 for the Supersonic story. Complete each story by watching the credits all the way through, and you'll receive an emblem for each, totaling all up to 130. I actually don't know what happens if you go back to the Supersonic story. I think it might let you just play it normally again. That I don't know, but yeah. So, for getting 130 emblems in this game, you unlock Metal Sonic with a question mark. It's kind of a shame that he doesn't get a little, you know, avatar. But anyway, this might seem sort of confusing. No, you did not unlock a new story. There is no new story for Metal Sonic, which would have been awesome if there was, honestly. That would have been so cool. But basically, we're going to jump right in there. Metal Sonic is Sonic with a costume. That's basically it. There is no difference in the way he controls, no difference in speed. It's just a difference in how he looks. And for some reason, he tilts really far forward. It's like he's a track star. I guess he could be. But yeah, it looks really cool. Like, he looks really cool, and he has different sound effects. But in terms of everything else, he travels at the same speed. I feel like he definitely should be faster than Sonic, at least a little bit. But yeah, you're hovering. So that's basically what's going on. I don't know if this was really worth all the effort I put into getting 130 emblems. You know, basically 36 hours to be able to play as Sonic a second time. And especially since, you know, there's no new story. Basically, all you can do is play with Sonic, exact simulated Sonic controls in all of Sonic's stages. You can't go to everyone's stages, just Sonic's. But the thing they do for you is that, basically, you know, once you finish a level, it'll tell you your score and all that. And it'll tell you got the emblems with this character, you got the emblems with this character. They won't add up. Like, for example, Twinkle Circuit, even though you can play as every character, you won't get more emblems for completing it with different characters. You just need to play with one of them, right? Now here, what you can do is, oh, shoot, out there. For some reason, I honestly feel slower. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the way to do it. Yeah, there we go. This shortcut right here. Overshot it a little bit, but whatever. There's stuff back here. But yeah, basically, you know, you can play through all the stages again, and the scores will be kept separate from the actual Sonic character. So it's almost like having a brand new character, but not really. Basically, it's just for the looks of it. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong about the speed. Maybe he's a little bit faster in some ways, but honestly, I don't think he is. I think he's the exact same thing as Sonic, just looks different. That's honestly all it is. Come on, go faster. Beat this time, man. Yeah, I believe the A level for Sonic is beat it in under 2 minutes, which actually isn't as hard as it sounds. There's plenty of shortcuts, plenty of things that can help you, aka this. Oh, okay, well, I meant to launch myself up and then over, but okay, I totally screwed the pooch on that one. Alright, let's not fail this time. Let's try again. Yeah, basically, do I think this prize is worth it? Like I said, not really. It's definitely a cool little cameo, kind of Easter egg sort of thing, but definitely not worth it. So there we go. See, that's what I was trying to do the first time. And then you can skip a considerable amount right there. And, you know, we're obviously not going to make it under 2 minutes this time because I wasn't really trying, but, you know, there's a lot of shortcuts you can take, especially with Sonic and actually Tails, too. There's a lot of shortcuts with Tails because you can fly, but so there we go. And as you can see, the lives are also kept separate from Sonic. You know, you can have 99 lives with Sonic, and they won't carry over to Metal Sonic. So they really try to treat him like a completely different character, which he's not. But I definitely think this is a cool little cameo. It's definitely a cool little addition. Level B missed. That's a shame. But yeah, see, you have to redo basically all the levels, all the emblems with Metal Sonic if you want to get a true 100%. That's not what I'd call it, but whatever. Anyway, guys, while I'm actually experimenting something, I'm going to try to go back into the Super Sonic story, just while I'm talking. Basically, that's it. Actually, you know, the credits in this game aren't nearly long enough to really give your full thoughts on a game or anything like that. So I'm just going to jump into here, and yeah, it does redo the story. Wow. Okay. Well, it looks like this is different than the rest of the stories. You can actually go back in and play again. If you try that in any of the other characters' stories, all it'll do is just send you into free roam mode. And you can go back and replay stages and all that. God, there's so many cutscenes to skip. How many are there? Alright, there we go. Basically, we're just going to walk around as good old Sonic. Probably my favorite character in this game, in this particular game. Who doesn't love a good Sonic playthrough? But anyway, as you guys know, I have a bit of a history with this game. This game, you know, I have a lot of nostalgia with it. Even though, you know, a lot of the memories made with it were made not too long ago, maybe in the last couple of years, you know, because since I couldn't beat the big story when I was younger, I wasn't able to do much, you know, in terms of, you know, last story and the rest of the big story after Twinkle Park. So I wasn't really able to experience the whole game for myself, which is a shame because the last story is fun. I still have fun with that nowadays. So it sucks that I didn't get to experience that, but it is what it is, honestly. It's not a huge deal. Yeah. But I remember when I got it. I got it after Sonic Adventure 2, and for the longest time I thought it was better. Obviously, you know, growing up, it's not. I only liked it more because it was new and it was a new experience, you know, and I wasn't doing... I had put like 200 hours into Sonic Adventure 2 by that point. Yeah, I played it that much. Mostly because of the Chao, but yeah. Speaking of Chao, there are no Chao in this garden. But if we go to the Egg Carrier Garden, which we will, we'll get to show off some things. Now, I really enjoyed this walkthrough. I did. It was stressful at a lot of times. I've had to fight the game itself so often. I've had to, you know, redo things, redo videos, probably on 3 or 4 occasions, and I've had a lot of editing mishaps. Like I said, you know, all those problems, they didn't really influence, you know, how I feel about the walkthrough all that much. You know, it was mostly Windows Movie Maker's fault. In case you guys don't follow our Facebook page, which you really should, the link to it is down in the description. We update it quite frequently. We were planning on getting Sony Movie Studio. Everyone's probably saying, oh, get Sony Vegas. Yeah, I'm not going to spend, you know, $400, $500, $600 on a program. Oh, why don't you torrent it? No, you know, I really don't want to do that. It's not like I'm really morally against it, but I just want it to work properly. I want to be able to get customer and technical support for it if I need to, and you know, if you torrent stuff, it doesn't really work that easily. I wouldn't really know. I don't have too much experience with torrenting. But also, you know, if someone makes a great product, they deserve to be compensated for it. Unless it's music. You make so much money off of shows and the radio and Spotify and all that. I'm going to download your music illegally. I don't care. Yeah, I'll just rest up here for a second. I'll just let Sonic rest. I'll put the controller down so I can really focus on the rest of this. But, you know, even with those problems that I had, you know, more than Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 had a couple, but here we had 3 or 4, maybe 5 mishaps on different occasions, and it's really frustrating because, especially in the Amy situation, you know, where I had to go back and, you know, replay a good chunk of the Sonic story to be able to unlock Amy to be able to redo that video, and that was a real shame. That was not fun at all. Redoing that was not fun, let me tell you that. But, you know, you're gonna run into problems. I just wish it didn't happen so frequently. A couple times, it was my fault. Most of the time, it was Windows Movie Maker or Hapag Capture, which honestly isn't the best software. I mean, the HD PVR2 itself is a fantastic piece of machinery, but its software is just trash, man. Just trash. But, you know, that's something I'll talk on a later date. The thing that probably made this most challenging, and it wasn't a challenge in Resident Evil 5, is because Resident Evil 5 has wireless controllers. It's on the Xbox 360. This game, you know, playing on the GameCube, my recording setup right now is non-ideal. Anyway, overall, like I said, I have a lot of nostalgia with this game, and I'm really glad I finally was able to do a walkthrough on it. Due to the fact that I wasn't able to beat the big story for the longest time, made me unconfident that I'd be able to actually finish a walkthrough for it. So, Sonic Adventure 2 was always my go-to walkthrough. Back in 9th grade, what was that, like 6, 7 years ago? No, hang on. Back in 7th grade, which was like 7 or 8 years ago for me, I did Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I did a walkthrough on that on a digital camera. And I'm not joking here. I stacked up a bunch of books and DVDs, put the camera on top, and just filmed. I was only able to film for 5 minutes at a time because the SD card was so small. So I had to really rush through the levels and rush through my commentary. And obviously it looked atrocious because it was off of a digital camera. I was recording my screen directly. But you know, I was young, I was just really pumped to get into it, and I honestly had no idea what capture cards were or how to even really work a computer all that well. I basically just knew how to type and use the internet. Otherwise, I had no idea on the technical side of things, so that made it hard. So it was the first walkthrough I did back then. And then when I came back to walkthroughs with my Pinnacle Dazzle, which could record up to 480p, you know, standard definition, all that, and I had a real microphone this time, not just digital camera. I did Sonic Adventure 2 Battle again as my quote-unquote first walkthrough. And then that's when Bosniancheese and I really started collaborating, and we had a lot of fun with that. But there's plenty of time for collaboration stories later on. For those of you who have been here since then, congrats, because there aren't too many of you left, and it's really exciting to hear from you guys. I really do enjoy that. But this time, I didn't want to start with Sonic Adventure 2 again. I mean, obviously that's my go-to game. It's a game I know a lot about. It's a game I love doing walkthroughs on. I thought I would have the same amount of fun doing this game, and I did. I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm sure I'm going to look back on this walkthrough months or years from now and really enjoy rewatching it. I feel like my commentary has definitely improved over the years, and I mean, obviously that happens with age and education, but you know, I wish I was this good years ago, so that I would have been confident enough to just continue continue my walkthroughs the whole time, rather than stopping, you know, for a couple years, being like, oh, I'll get better, and then stopping for a couple years, oh, I'll get better. Well, this time I don't plan on doing that. I plan on sticking around for the long haul on this, and so does Bosniancheese. He's actually going to be back here. Actually, the day you're seeing this is the day that he comes back and school starts. In case you guys don't know, he lives on campus at our college, so he can't live on campus during the winter time. Me, I live off campus, so this is my home. I have a job here and all that. I actually live here. Yeah, I'm that crazy, right? But he will be back, and we will start working on our next projects. In case you don't know, there's 2 of them. 2 collaboration projects, and then his 1 solo project. I hope you're excited for all of that and more to come, but you won't see a solo walkthrough from me for at least the next couple of months because we're going to be focusing on those. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you around.